there again, and welcome. You might remember last week we had a good look at Jesus being moved with compassion to act on behalf of his fellow countryfolk because their plight was disastrous. And he saw them as sheep without a shepherd. He saw them as harassed and dejected. And the main focus there was Jesus moved with compassion. And now a similar experience in today's text, where Jesus and his disciples and a group of followers are heading into a town called Nain. Now we have no idea where that is today. It doesn't exist on the map anymore. And heading into that town, and that group representing, of course, the good news, new life, and they meet another group of people coming out of the town, carrying a bier with a dead person on it and taking it out for burial. And that group representing death and sorrow. And Jesus very quickly reads the situation. He follows his own recommendations of being awake and being alert and being attentive. He recognizes the situation of the mother of the dead man. And he knows that she is a widow. And she has just lost her only son. And so socially, that woman is dead. Because in that society, she would be ostracized by the other women of the village. And she would be availed of by some of the men. Her situation was disastrous. And Jesus, reading that, is moved with compassion. He allows his stomach to be churned at the plight of this woman. He identifies with her so well. He says, "Your pain is in my heart." That's what he could have said, So Jesus then acts. He says to the woman, "Don't cry." And then he turns to the bier and puts his hand on it, and the carriers stop. And then he says to the dead man, "Young man, get up." And the dead man sits up and starts to speak. And then Jesus does the beautiful thing of giving that son back to his mother. So he gives life to the boy and he gives life to the mother. And if we remember, it's from the mother that that boy got life. And now he is able to give it back. And Jesus' concern there was for the living, not for the dead. His concern was for the mother and her plight. He wasn't worrying about the dead man. And it's rather why I think today we have in funeral services, they are for the living. They're not for the dead. And that would be seen to be Jesus' practice too. I think of Lazarus, Martha and Mary. Jesus wept at the death of Lazarus, not for Lazarus. He wept for Martha and Mary, the bereaved. And what I was questioning was, how is it that Jesus had this capacity for empathy, this capacity to allow the suffering, the difficulty, the situation of another to impinge on him so profoundly? And I believe it's in his profound, loving, truthful relationship with his Father. Jesus lived out that filial relationship of God who was Abba, Daddy, and he was the beloved Son. And he lived that to the nth degree. It's a beautiful relationship. And I believe that that intimate relationship gave Jesus the freedom to allow the situation of another to impinge on him profoundly. And so I suppose it's because of our circumstances that spoke to me so strongly as I read these texts. This beautiful one of the widow of Nain, and how Jesus allowed himself to be so moved, and so he acted on her behalf. And how beautiful today in our world if we had compassionate people. If we could live that recommendation of Jesus, be compassionate as your Heavenly Father is compassionate. In other words, have in us maybe just a little grain of the compassion that is in God. Have something of that compassion in us, and so make a very, very much better world. All right, God bless you, go well, and have a compassionate week. Bye now.